Hello, I would show you in this session how to use the new call shop. If you received your username and password, please go ahead and enter them here and click submit. After you click submit, you will see the main page, and it contains the booths. If you have more than 3, you will see them under these 3, and this will show you the last calls the customer called. We will later make a test call, and you can see what you can see here after the call. First thing you need to do is go to option page, and in this option page you can set your call shop options. The first one is the increment, and that means that you're charging your customers after the first initial increment every minute. That means if the customer calls for 1.5 minutes, you're usually charging him 2 minutes because it's rounded up to 60. You can change that to 30. It means your increment is every half a minute, every 30 seconds. You can do 10 seconds. It means that you're charging the customer every 10 seconds. Most of call shops leave it to 60. That means like you're charging every 60 seconds, like a minute. Number of last calls shown on the page, 25. That means underneath this here you will see up to 25 calls. If you want to see more, you can click on this and leave it to 30 calls, for example. Then you can see the last 30 calls that made in your call shop. Decimal places after the on the cost, it means like the cents. If it's a US dollar, it means like you charging the customer $5.25, $5.41. This is the number. This is the cents after the comma. Amount to round the money to. For example, if I put my amount to 20 cents, that means if the customer call costs 11 cents, the system will charge him 20. If the customer calls costed 10 cents, the system will charge him 20. It always will be rounded up to 20. Some people leave it to 0 and they charge the customer exactly how much the call costed. Some of them, they just do it as 10 cents to round it up. Currency is right now is set up to US dollars. You can change your currency simple. You can also write Real. You can write USD. It's just the simple for the currency when you make your reporting. Local time offset. If you are in a different time zone than the system here, you can set it up to +8, -8, depends where your time zone is. Minimum billing duration is 60 seconds. That means if the customer call lasted less than 60 seconds, let's say 15 seconds, the system will charge him 60. If the call lasted 41 seconds, the system will charge him 60. It will always be rounded up to 60 seconds. You can make it 0. That means the customer will pay exactly the seconds amount they call. Some leave it to 30. Some make it 66 or 60. It depends on your call shop. Most of call shops, because it's retail, it's always charged per minute. Maximum amount to allow making marking fee. This is the fee you mark and how much the maximum amount you want to mark. Export changing rate, it's put to 1 always if you have US dollars here. If you have different than US dollars, you have to check your exchange rate and put it here. For example, sometimes it's 3 to 1, sometimes it's 0.5 to 1. It depends on the currency you are using. Allow, enable and disable booth. It's set to yes. I would recommend use it to no, because sometimes you forget to enable a booth. The customer walks in and the call doesn't go through because the booth is disabled or blocked, and then the customer will walk out again and tell you your booth is not working. So to eliminate these issues, leave it to no. I would recommend you can always leave it to yes, and you can enable and disable yourself. It's up to you. Hard call marked paid. It means after the customer pays you, if it's set to yes, it means those paid calls won't show on the page. They will show only on your reporting. If you put it to no, they will always show whether they are paid or not. Show active calls. You have 3 options. Do not show active calls. It will not show that your active calls. show active calls, it will show you your active calls without the time, and show with approximate time, it will show you the approximate time the customers are using in the booth. It's not the exact time. You will get the exact time after the customers hangs up. Sometimes the counter takes 2, 3, or 4 seconds when the customer hangs up before the call hangs up. The system will not charge you or charge the customer extra, so wait for the call to drop and the system will recalculate and give you the exact amount of the seconds. And then you have language option. You can have different languages, choose whatever language you like. After you're done with all your settings, you just click set options, and then you will see here option set. After you see that, it means everything you done here is already saved and you are good to go. So in the next section I will show you the rate editor, and then I will go through with you how to edit, add, and upload rates. Please click on the next video to see how to manage your rates.